So today I want to talk to you about a spec ad that I made and then ended up selling to the brand that I made it for, and kind of go through that whole process and give you some tips if that's something that you're looking to do as well. And maybe it'd be helpful just to watch it. It's like 30 seconds or something. So let's take a look at it just so that we have the context of what this ad is about.
There are those that love adventure, exploring, and pushing boundaries, trailblazers and risk takers, the ones who discover the rare beauty this world has to offer. But then, there are those that love comfort, style, and are just easygoing. And in the end, it can get them to the same destination. Lems. Shoes for everyone.
So what can you do? Maybe you've made a spec ad already. Maybe you're thinking about making a spec ad. How can you go through this process? What's the best thing to do? So tip number one, I would say, is make it relevant to the brand. I think that's got to be one of the most important things to do. If I was making this spec ad about the shoes and it had nothing to do with what that brand was about, what their mission is, or what their goals are or visions are for their brand, their company, then it doesn't really make sense for the brand to want to engage with that ad or send that ad out for the public to see. Like, it just doesn't represent them. So make sure when you're working on your spec ad, make the story and the point of that story relevant to what the brand is actually about, why they do what they do, and why they're about the things that they're about. Two, I would say make it unique. So if you're just kind of copying what somebody else has done for that brand and you're just kind of putting just a little bit of a twist on there, that again won't provide the extra value that a brand would really be looking for. So try and make it unique, and that could be unique in so many different ways. It could be unique in the way you shoot it or who you shoot it with, or unique in how the story is told, or it could also be the location. A location can make it very unique as well, and that's kind of leaning into where I live here on Maui. Once you've thought through how you can actually make it unique, you go out and shoot it. And I'm not gonna get into how to shoot it. Maybe that can be another video, or maybe watch somebody like Mark Bone or Danny Gevirtz to like really get all those technical nitty-gritties and just what goes into really making a good commercial or a good film. That would be super helpful. Once you've shot that brings it to the question of, okay, you've got your film. How do I pitch this? And so the first question in who to pitch is actually finding the right person to pitch it to. If you're just sending an email to sales@nike.com or marketing@nike.com, nobody's gonna get back to you. That's not gonna work. But if you can find the right person, if it's Jeff@nike.com and Jeff is that decision maker, you might actually get somewhere. And so actually finding the right person is super helpful. And so you can do that kind of through a whole bunch of different ways. Instagram can be helpful, reaching out to different brands, depending on how big the brand is. Sometimes you reach the decision maker, the person that's going to be able to say yes or no, right there in the DMs. I've done that before. It's ended up with work. That can be possible. Another super helpful way is through LinkedIn. LinkedIn is this untapped resource that is amazingly helpful, and you can search and find the exact person that is the marketing manager or the advertising manager or the social media manager, because it'll say that in their little description of who they are. So you can search the brand, again, depending on how big the brand is or the company is, and find the right person through that. You can reach out to them through there. You can actually call. I know that sounds super scary, or send an email. So you found the right person. Then the next important thing is to actually ask. I feel like there's so many times where people have created amazing stuff or are able to create amazing things, but they just don't ask because maybe they're too afraid, or they're unsure, or they doubt that their work is actually good enough to be pitched or to be seen or to be used to create something. So just actually ask, actually pitch. Take the time to write out a proposal or an offer have a reel to show, or once your spec ad is done, have a way for them to actually be able to see it and create that conversation. I feel like asking is this point where everybody gets there and then just doesn't go that little bit further, and it's so worth it. Even if, which is my next point, is to be able to be okay with hearing no. I think I've said this in other videos, no isn't final, no just means not right now. And there's so many times where I've gotten no's from different brands or people, companies, to then later be able to work with them in the future. So no, just because they don't like what you've created now, doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to do it in the future. Having that no, or being able to find out why it was a no, is really helpful and important too. Because if it's a no because of certain things that can be changed, maybe you can change that or switch it up and then be able to get work with them or sell your spec ad to that brand. So that can help you be able to sell it, but also just to grow as a creative. Maybe they just flat out don't like it, but are able to give you constructive criticism on how you could be better or what things they are looking for. The no isn't always a bad thing, and it's just something that you can grow from, something you can get better from. So be okay with that no, but then also be okay with negotiating. Be okay with playing around and bartering in some fashion. You know, like I had done with my initial pitch that I wanted them to be part of the documentary. They didn't want that, but hey, let me see if you'd want this. And they did. And so it's okay to be able to work around and work through different offers. That's also okay too. Again, this is all just getting out of your comfort zone and being okay to hear that no and to negotiate. But then you should also be able to say no for yourself as well. If a company just wants something for free, you are worth a lot more than just free work if you have created this amazing spec ad. So I should say, like, be okay with saying no on your end too. Maybe they love the ad, but they just don't want to pay for it. I would say in the vast majority of situations, don't do free work. You're worth more than that, and that only just kind of devalues you and your work, but also other creators' works, and sets a precedent for that brand to get free work from all these other creatives too. So just know, like, what you've created is important and it's valuable and it deserves some kind of compensation. And that's where you can barter and negotiate and pitch on what that is, depending on what you've created and how you've created and so on. So kind of putting that all together. Make it relevant, make it unique, find the right person to ask, actually ask, be okay with negotiating, hearing no, saying no, and then lastly, go make another one. Make, rinse, and repeat, or something like that. However it turns out, maybe you sell it, maybe you don't, doesn't matter. Learn from your successes and learn from the failures in what you've done, and go out and make another one. That's how you get better, it's how you grow. So I guess that all being said, let me know. Let me know if this has been helpful, if you want me to do more of these kinds of videos, what else you'd like me to touch on, which brands you think I should create a spec ad for, just for fun to see if I can get the ball rolling on whatever, and just to have it be helpful for you guys to watch. Just, yeah, let me know. Excited to hear back from you. As always, if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help and make a difference. And I'll see you in the next video. Oh gosh. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Very good. Sorry.